Hello one and all, and welcome back to another Ice Queendom discussion. I'm your only mate, and with me as always is...
It's me, hi. I don't know what that was. I'm Max.
I don't know what that was either, but hey, let's roll with it.
Yeah, there you go. We got more Ice Queendom stuff. We got ourselves a bit of a building block episode. It's
Yeah, like
we don't make a ton of like quotations progress, but we set up a lot of things for later, I feel.
Yeah, and okay, so a lot of people, like, whenever a building block episode comes out, is just like, oh, this episode is lame. I'm just like, well, I don't want things to just be, like, skipped.
That's true.
Like,
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Because, yeah, in comparison, a building block episode isn't as good, but I still think they're necessary.
Well, they're 100% necessary, because otherwise you just kind of... If you don't build up to things, then things don't have payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a delicate balancing act, because you don't want to build things up too much, but not enough. You got to figure out the right amounts, and we'll see. I'll see at least how well this particular show is going to go about that. But either way, I'm being stared at by RWBY.
RWBY is all, put me in the store.
Yeah, I know, right? She commands you. Also, I assume Shion must have been the creator of said little yarn voodoo doll things.
I mean, who else would it have been?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Did Ozpin's like, all right, everybody, we're having a craft day? I don't know. Like, everybody has to make their partner. I don't know. I don't know. It's an adorable mental image, if nothing else.
Wait, hold on. If everyone had to make their partner at this point, how would Weiss have been able to make RWBY?
I implied that this took place before.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense.
That it all went down. And these were just things that they had and thought it would be neat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even understand how they're exactly useful for what's going on, other than the fact that they're kind of adorable. That's about all I've got.
Well, I mean, I think they're also meant to show, like, hey, here's this person's, like, physical state in the dream, because while Ruby's not doing so well in the dream, this yarn thing of her gets slashed.
That's true. So,
which is a sign to Shion. It's just like, okay, nope, gotta put a stop to this.
Yeah, it's like a warning sign thing. So that's neat, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, RWBY was about to get herself offed. That's no good.
Yep. Shion's all and
saved
wake up
by the screensaver. Yes, she's saved by a base. What really feels like a screensaver for your computer, with all those pink strings. But she is alive and awake and all is well.
Yeah.
Lots of various doodads and the negative Weiss.
Shadow Weiss.
It's just, you're right. Shadow Weiss is just kind of like, hey, the heck was up with that? Like, essentially. Even in the Dream World's nonsense, they have some semblance of how normal works, and that was not it. Also, the Jock statue can just shut up. The Jock statue can just straight up actually legitimately talk.
Yeah, and decides to lambast Weiss, being all, well, if you're truly a daughter of the Schnee family, then, well, you have to carry out your duties, and you're not doing that, and Shadow Weiss is angry.
She is angry, and there are thorns shooting out of her shadow. You see, it's something we in the business refer to as symbolism. She's trapped. You gotta get her out of there.
Yeah, which they're working on, and RWBY tells the others, like, hey, I found Weiss, but I don't think it went well. But Shion's like, nah, for a first recon, that went okay.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Juniper were able to do it in one fell swoop without any effort whatsoever, but I mean, you know, you did good too. I know it's because his was easier, but it's still funny to think of it that way.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's just like, man, I don't know how you messed up so bad. They did it easily.
Anyway, they've got a map of, like, the kingdom, I want to say. Like,
I would like you to say the subtitle of this particular series again and figure out what just might be that this is in fact a kingdom.
well, yeah, Ice Queendom. Like, duh.
You ding dong!
And they're just like, okay, so we got, like, some walls inside the city. For no particular reason, we'll call them, Maria, Rose, and... Oh shit, this is embarrassing.
Haha, there you go. I was waiting to see how this was gonna turn out. You gonna be okay over there?
No! What was it?
Alright, well, I could always just move on to what I was gonna say, in case you're trying to figure that, while you're figuring that out. Okay, well, while he's Googling whatever he's Googling. So, basically, Ruby...
Oh, Cena.
There you
we go.
There you go. So, but as I was trying to say, Ruby is relaying all of this information and basically, you know, saying that Ruby is having a hard time with Weiss and all such things, and Yang believes that it would make a lot of sense for her to basically insult Weiss for some reason. And everyone just, I mean, and Blake is very,
Yeah,
hey, maybe that.
I have mixed feelings on Yang during this part.
I very much do too, because the thing of the matter is, like as you said, Yang is a jokester. It's a thing that she is, but at the same time, like, what exactly was the response she was expecting from everyone else? Like, ha ha ha, so true, Yang. Weiss is dying. Like,
Yeah, like...
Yang herself is the one who once said time and place. Just saying.
Yeah, so, like, practice what you preach, and just throwing this out there, absolute worst case scenario, let's say Weiss did die from this, which, like, obviously that's not happening.
Yes, but if she did, which Yang has no reason to think isn't at least vaguely possible.
Yeah, then, how it would go is, Yang makes all these jokes at Weiss's expense. Oh, she's dead.
So, have fun living with that for your rest
Yeah. Like, I get that that's what Yang is, but, again, she said, time and place for jokes. I don't really feel like this is the time.
No.
So,
after everything is okay and fine and dandy, then sure. Until then, no.
Yeah, like, I'm mixed on Yang during this scene. Though,
so, but yes.
Though
but
I
then,
really appreciate Blake being all, hey, no, like,
yeah, maybe
stop
don't. You know, the one of the three of the team that actually has the most reason to be against Weiss right now, like, is the one going, hey, maybe don't. Like, I don't know, maybe she's just really, really good at hiding her feelings, but at least the impression I got is that she was just legitimately thinking that's not cool, don't do that. So, the rest of the teachers, yes?
You know, is it just me, or like... Okay, so when they name Negative Weiss and Yang
and
is
then
just
Yang gets
all...
another insult in, just throwing that out there.
And Blake's like, hush. Like... I don't know why, but it feels like to me, like, the way they write those two in this scene is just like... Do they write them like a couple to you as well? Or am I just too obsessed?
I mean, it can be both.
That's also true.
I want to say that the writing for these two has definitely been, just like in this episode alone, was really, really chummy. like, I mean... I'm well aware of the fact that basically everyone and their damn grandma ships these two, and it's an inevitability in the actual canon. But it is still, like, very noticeable from a writing perspective. But at the same time, yes, you are in fact obsessed, and it's starting to become a problem. This is actually an intervention.
Yeah, well, I like it and I'm happy, okay?
I know. I'm not going to take away your happy.
Nor are you.
Yay! I don't get a lot. All right, but
Yeah,
basically,
I'm just gonna admit this now, there's not a whole lot of Weiss in this episode.
there's not a whole lot of Weiss in general. Oi, anyway, Shion basically says, okay, so not bad, but you could do better. I'm gonna flip my hourglass over, and when it's all good, that means my aura is back, and you can go back on in.
Oh, and Shion does bring up that in terms of Shadow Weiss and how to approach her in a fight, the Nightmare is just basically gonna do everything it can to make her the strongest person in the dream.
Yeah, it's almost like that's kind of how dreams work.
So, yeah. Shadow Weiss is all kinds of strong.
She do be that. And Shion asks, hey, it's alright, so once this is all, flippy florped on over, like, who's going in? And they all say they're going in, and Ruby's all like, hey, maybe y'all shouldn't do that? And then Yang is all like, haha, I know I was just joking about how much I don't actually care for her as a person, but I'm obviously going anyway, and I'm just very confused by Yang's actions. I'm not going to bring it up again, except for one more time later, but I'm still confused by it.
I am too. Just time and a place, Yang.
I'm just throwing this out here because, again, I watched these with Nightstar, and something he has been theorizing and he's curious about is this series written with the assumption that the first 3 episodes we saw, the recap episodes, are how we're supposed to interpret all of the events up to this point? Because it's the only way that this version of Yang makes any sense. Because from everything we've seen of Yang in this, she just doesn't like Weiss. In general, apparently. And it's and if you look at it from that perspective, it makes sense that she would just kind of randomly insult her in the middle of this situation.
I mean, the only time they've had a one-on-one interaction was that argument in episode 3.
I know!
So,
are we to interpret that was basically the only interaction they've ever had? Because that's the only way that these comments make any sense.
It's also possible we're just focusing on stuff a bit too much, but hey, that's what we do.
I mean, that is literally the entire reason we do this, is to hyperanalyze things that literally do not mean anything whatsoever.
And also just highlight Weiss and Blake.
Indeed. Speaking of Blake,
because they are the best.
I know, I'm just saying, speaking of Blake, she does a good, and she wants to help.
Yeah.
So, I got it.
And
okay.
Yeah, this is something I merely kind of blanked on when watching the sub.
What's that?
Blake being all, wait, why do you not want us to meet this version of Weiss? And Ruby's trying really hard not to say something. And Yang catches on. And saying like, oh, Dream Weiss must be like really, really mean. And Blake's all, yeah, I've been thinking about that. Look, if Weiss doesn't care, then I won't either. I'll just go in, help her out, and we'll deal with it like one step at a time.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And this is going to sound a little weird, just coming from me in general, but I actually want to, even though this episode's only 5 minutes in, I want to very briefly just give the MVP of the episode award to Blake. Because, straight up, she's just really good in this episode.
She really is, in so many ways.
Like, not even when it comes to the physical actions of which she does, which obviously will still earn her points. I'm sure Mate will gush all about those in due time.
Hell yes.
Yeah, okay. But I just want to say, throughout this entire episode, out of all of Team RWBY, she's the most chill, understanding, and matter-of-fact and logical about this entire situation. Like, she doesn't seem to let any of this actively, mentally get to her in any aspect, despite there being multiple opportunities for that very thing to happen. We'll get to those. Juniper are here, and they're like, you're supposed to be in class. And they're like, guess who cares? Not us. They wanted to check in on Weiss. Jean does not feel good about this situation.
Yeah, and they had to glance over to Pura, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh, right, yeah, no, in the original, like, they set up the whole, like, Jean, like, having feelings for Weiss, and Pura being all, I want you to notice me.
Did you forget that was a subplot?
No, but I'm just like, why do you have to remind me?
Long pause!
It's just like...
Like, that was the thing! That was the status quo!
Like, stop making me miss Arcos!
Too bad! You're gonna be getting a lot more of it!
I know.
Anyway.
It would have been cute.
I know. And instead, she threw him in a locker. Anyway, Juniper are here, and they're really just kind of offering moral support. The hourglass is flipped, and all of Team RWBY are going all up in Weiss's brainscape. God, those things are cute. Those little toys. I want them. Gimme.
I want the Blake one in particular.
I know, and I want the Weiss one too, but I'm just saying, if they sell them in a set, I'll get all four and hang from the ceiling. I don't care. I want them. Give me.
I actually do have a perfect opportunity to, like, hang all four of them from my ceiling.
There you go!
Because, like, the ceiling, well, at least in the bedroom I will be moving back into at some point, there's going to be work being done on it, so...
It's a whole thing.
Gonna move all my stuff away, sleep in a different room, like, it's the whole thing. But there are these, like, 4 hooks, like, just in the ceiling. And there's 4 of them.
There you go.
Those have been there since I moved in.
Sell the yarn.
So, give me an opportunity to use them.
Absolutely. But yeah, they all, you know, do the little trippy effects to get themselves all up in the dreamscape.
Yep. Back into the dream we go.
And who do we see first?
I mean, I'm not there yet. I'm waiting for the scene to play out.
And then, God,
Sorry,
I set up the pins for you so often. And how often do you manage to throw the ball? Not often enough. Well,
Sorry,
while we casually wait for him to realize the entire...
Yeah, no, I was about to say it.
Okay.
Yeah, first person we see is Blake. She's looking into a frozen lake and is wait, only one of my ears are out, and is this how Weiss, like, sees me?
Dreams are weird. And
okay.
For the record, Blake is like much more kitty than she was.
Yeah.
In the past.
Okay, so I will admit, this scene, you could have had so much of an opportunity to make this hilarious.
You really could have.
Because, like...
This entire side series seems to try to downplay humor, though.
Because, okay. Yeah, there's Blake, like, looking into the lake, and it's all like, huh, only one of my ears are out. I'll be honest, how I would have, like, done this... One of, like, RWBY or Yang is all like, Blake? It's just like, what? And they're just, like, pointing down, and looks to see a tail. Because she has one in here.
She does, but although, to be fair, Blake is also no-selling the cat hands remarkably well.
Yeah, no, and she could react to those as well when, like, reaching for the tail. Like, what is this? Oh, God, what are my hands?
Yeah, there was potential for humor. Like, and although, admittedly, there is at least one thing here that's sort of a joke. I want to be able to be the one to bring it up.
Well, we'll get to it. I'm not done with the Blake stuff.
Oh, I know, and I had the thing I wanted to say too anyway, so go ahead, keep talking about Blake.
Yeah, like, because that would have been hilarious. Like, just her reacting to this, because I remember this being, like, a thing in the magazine, and I'm just like, wait, why does Blake look like that? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And you could have had that scene in this show, but... Honestly, I do like her just, like, taking it in stride. Just being like, you know what, this is a dream, it's weird. Like, whatever. It really does just try to... I mean, it feels like it's really trying to paint the picture of Blake really just being really chill about this whole thing and actively wanting to make peace with Weiss and legitimately help her, and I like that a lot. Yeah, I do too. And so I'm honestly okay with it. Yeah, and can I just take this opportunity to, like, just get something out there with whenever I see art, like, online of Blake? There's a lot of ways that this line of discussion can go. Where are you taking it? No, it's just like anytime I see art of her with a tail, and like, okay, not saying no one should do this. Like, if you think that's cute, like, more power to you, go for it. But every time I see it, I just have that thought. It's just like, she doesn't have one though.
I get that. But you know,
hey, she does in here. So
I want to say, just part of it is I don't see it nearly as much anymore. It used to be a lot more prevalent in the early years of the series when we didn't actually fully know if she didn't, because we didn't fully understand how Faunus worked. So a combination of general ignorance on the subject, along with the idea that I feel like there was also a pretty good influx of people who drew Blake without actually watching the show at all and just saw, oh, cat ears. She's Catgirl. Catgirls have tails. That sort of thing.
Fair.
So there's a couple reasons why it would happen. It still sometimes does, but it's not nearly as prevalent as it used to be.
Nah, not as much.
Yeah.
But hey, like, she has one in the dream, so...
Speaking of having things in the dream, Yang has her bike.
For some reason.
And
like, she doesn't even know why.
They call out that that's weird, and they should, because I don't think Weiss has any reason to know that Yang even has one.
I mean, I guess it's not impossible that she could have, like, brought it up.
She could have brought it up, but unless Yang talks about her bike way more often than we're aware of, it's weird that it would be so ingrained in Weiss's brain that it would associate motorcycles with Yang to the point where she would have one in the dream world so easily.
Which is just Bumblebee. Like, it just is.
Yeah, it just is. It's very strange, that. Anyway, this episode has a joke in it, and, you know, it's a small one, but I still like it. Because
I like it too.
Because RWBY shows off how wonked up Crescent Rose is. It's like, you got your bike, and she messed up my scythe. It's like, look, the gun's pointed at the wrong end. Blake and Yang sidestep away from the barrel. Like, just in case. It's a small thing, but it's appreciated.
Yeah, like, I appreciate that joke, but also, like, RWBY, like, gun safety 101.
Yeah.
Like,
and then Blake yeets her sword.
I'll get to that. I have a big thing I want to say about that.
Okay.
RWBY, don't accidentally shoot your sister and future sister-in-law.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, you have to.
Always has to sneak it in. All right, now talk about Blake throwing Gamble's Shroud halfway across the planet.
Yeah, okay, so I remember seeing screenshots of this, and even just, like, GIFs.
Yeah,
and
what the
I watched it in the sub, and I'm just like, yeah, no, Blake yeets it over a mountain.
Like, it doesn't even really look like she puts that much force behind it either. It's like a casual toss.
Yeah, and
she barely even reacts to it. She's like, oh, yeah, alright, seems mostly the same. Like, and then Yang atomizes a tree.
Yeah, I also just want to, like, just cool this out, because, well, made by the same company and everything. Yeah, no, Blake puts Donut to absolute shame.
Apparently.
Like,
and then RWBY...
Best throwing arm, like, from this company goes to Blake.
Apparently, because she needs to take all of these things. So, RWBY is angry because apparently Blake and Yang are stronger than they normally are in the dream world than they are in the real world. And yeah, RWBY is not.
I have so many questions in regards to, like, just, like... Because I'm thinking in terms of, like, potential Death Battle stuff, like...
Of course you are.
I mean, that's basically ruined my brain to, like, watching anything. Like, anytime someone does something, I'm just like, okay, but how impressive is that, actually?
Yeah. No, that's true. I also pretty instinctively always like, I wonder if that's, like, a good feat.
Yeah, and it's just like... Okay, when they're in the dream world, are the stats, like, equal to the real world?
I'm gonna guess I'm gonna say no, because RWBY pretty much outright says that Yang and Blake are stronger than normal in here.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen, like, Yang take out trees, like, outside of the dream anyway.
That's true.
So
and I guess we don't have any reason to think that Blake couldn't throw Gamble's Shroud that hard. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, she didn't seem all that surprised by the fact that she could.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it was mostly just like, okay, so that still works how it usually does.
I can't get over the fact that Blake has gotten used to her cat hands so quickly.
I know, right?
If it was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, my weapon feels just fine. Yeah, this is good. It's like, yeah, you have entirely different bone structure in your hands now, but that doesn't seem to be slowing you down any. She's got finger beams.
Yeah, if it were me, I would have had a big freak out moment.
Yeah, I guess these could be gloves, but I don't think they are.
Huh.
I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't... I mean, yeah, it's not impossible. I've seen gloves like this.
Yeah, so maybe? If so, then that would explain why she's so neutral on it, but... Huh. Well, worth a thought at least.
Yeah. I wonder if this is going to be like another, like, Toad scenario, like, is that a hat or his head sort of thing?
It's his head! It's his head!
I know it is.
And the one episode you saw of Super Show doesn't disprove that. Oi. Anyway. Ruby wants to immediately throw literally every single one of her coins at the wall, and Yang's all like, hey, maybe don't. So, you know what? Point for Yang. Stops Ruby from wasting all of her coins.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about them riding the bike together?
Oh, you know I do.
Where did Blake get the goggles?
So true, actually.
Like, Yang's goggles are part of her design, and so are Ruby's. Blake doesn't have those. That's interesting.
I mean, maybe,
Anyway.
I guess maybe the implication is because they're the exact same as Yang's. Maybe
so.
Yang just had, like, a spare or something.
I guess.
Like,
Interesting, but there you are, I suppose.
yeah. I also want to, like, just call out a little detail with, like, anytime someone else rides Yang's bike.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only, like, 4 other characters to ride it in, like, anything are Blake, Weiss, Neptune, and Shady Man. I still love that's his name. Weiss and Blake, nah, they're, like, right up to Yang and, like, holding on to her.
Yeah.
Neptune and Shay, they're more so just, like, on the back holding on for dear life.
Mm-hmm. It's a trust thing, yo.
I'm just
Blake
like, that's actually a neat detail.
It is. Blake bears witness to these white fang grim monstrosities messing up a train, and once again, she's like, huh, how about that?
Yeah, Blake really takes everything in stride. Like,
That very brief conversation they had at the end of episode 3 really seemed to have affected her. Tragically,
yeah,
Ruby Scroll no longer has the map.
Yeah, I mean, she also just, understands, like, look, we're in Weiss's dream, like, this is gonna be how she sees the White Fang. And
I like to think that Blake has the mental acuity to realize that if they were all if she was the one with the Nightmare Grim in her and they were all inside her dream, there would be incredibly unflattering images of the Schnee Company inside there.
yeah, probably.
So I like to think like, well, we still have some things to work through, but I get it. You know, I like to think of it from that perspective. Like, I ain't gonna judge. I'm not gonna say my dreams wouldn't be messed up too.
Same.
Yang also proves that their scrolls still work as phones.
That is
Which I
super
guess
handy.
Which, I mean, so does Weiss give off Wi-Fi? I don't.
I mean, we still don't really know how like... Well, it's also not something we need to know, like...
No, it's not. We don't need to know, but it's just... Considering how... this is something else that Nightstar brought up, like a completely a different situation, but he believes that there's a possibility that because of the way we've seen communication portrayed in RWBY over the many years we've had RWBY, that, you know, how much emphasis is put on it and the ability to do so, that it might just be, like, something that's just hyper advanced and a free resource to people.
I mean, given how advanced the technology in RWBY is.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying their communication technology seems to be like one of their most advanced.
Yeah, I mean, they also like, have earpieces sometimes in the actual show.
Also, I just need to say this. Okay, so they all get inside the place and they see the Jacques statue. Now, Ruby's first impression of Jacques when she sees the statue, well, doesn't seem very nice. And then the very next time when someone sees Jacques for the first time, it's like, huh?
Yeah, Blake's all, yep, no. That's Jacques, he's an asshole.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, all right. I just kind of love that that's the first gut response that anybody has. Like, they know they're in a dream, they know things are exaggerated, they know things aren't exactly as they seem, but no matter what, they are all correct in their immediate assumption that Jacques is an asshole. I love that so much.
I do love that Blake confirms it.
Well, I'm sure she'd know.
Well, yeah. Anyway, this is all you.
Ah, right, yes. Sorry. Now it is my turn to not be quite up into the actual scene. Alright, it's
That's
more Shadow-wise. I'm sorry, what'd you just say?
That's how it feels.
So, I find... I'm kind of confused about a couple things about this. I guess, I mean, you know, Shadow Weiss and the Dream World and, you know, nonsense be nonsense. But, like, Weiss's gloves are sentient and like a hairbrush, like, is going, like a flying hairbrush is gonna brush her hair and she's all like, hey, you knock that off. Like, it's just so interesting to me how this Dream World works.
And you might have also... I know you've noticed that it's the exact same, like, dialogue and everything from the previous episode.
Yes, like 100%. It's just like it's like a loop.
Yeah.
It's almost symbolic or something of the fact that Weiss finds herself stuck in this situation with absolutely no means of being able to get out. And because that nothing she does is ever good enough, that she's going to continuously hear the exact same things from her family for the entirety of her life. Weiss's home life sucks!
It does.
But it's okay, because Jacques blew up, and I guess her house exploded. Oh.
I mean, it didn't explode, it
got crushed. There's no way that Steam
flooded.
Manor is still standing at this point.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm sorry, you
gone.
drop a continent onto the planet, ain't nothing standing still at that point.
Yeah. You remember at the end of Volume 6 when you said technically Weiss is homeless?
She is.
Yeah, she for sure 100% is now.
Yeah, so that's fun. Anyway, so they briefly show something on screen that I would like to get slightly more into later. Because Yang is looking at science.
Well, we also didn't address that Weiss says that Ruby and Yang are missing.
Yes, not Blake. Because it's almost as if that girl in black is Blake or something.
Well, we'll get to that, but...
Like, not having seen the rest of these, I can already tell where it's going! Because there's another scene in this that makes it very blatantly obvious.
And, so, something comes out of the wall. And there's an apple in it. Because, of course, you gotta get that symbolism in there.
Yes, and then that's why I said, and there's something we're shown. And I want to get into that a little later, because it's slightly confusing.
Oh, when you said a little later, but then you started talking about, like, Yang doing something, I was a little confused.
Yeah, it was, because I was moving past the scene so we could talk about that little thing later.
Oh, like, at the end of, like, a wrap-up thing.
I mean, slightly, sort of, when it's relevant again later.
Oh, okay, we're gonna be waiting a little bit for that then.
There are people going in the fountain! Blake is suspicious.
Yeah. By the way, this shadow person that goes in the fountain, like...
Yes?
Does it look like Willow to you?
Good question. Let me take another gander.
Like just the hair and the outfit, like, as we see her in the actual show proper. Or, like, outside of the dream.
Yeah, but Willow doesn't wear a skirt.
Well, it's not really a skirt, it's more like a... like... like a dress sort of thing. Like, that's just in my head when I saw this shadow person.
Too small.
Okay, you know what? Maybe that is the giveaway. Like, nope.
There you go.
Not big enough butt. Can't be Willow.
Exactly. So there you go. Anyway, Blake sees shadows go into the fountain, and she is very, very curious about that. Ruby does her own little bit of sneaking, and by the way, big Nicholas!
I love that spooks her.
It sure do, because, you know, doors really shouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
Ruby has once again found herself in the maw of the silly jail. Asks questions, but the door has no interest in answering such things. And then Pyrrha starts singing.
Yeah, remember last episode where we didn't see Pyrrha in the silly jail? Well, she's here.
Apparently, I guess she was in there.
Yeah, she's here and singing Mirror Mirror.
In Weiss's Volume 4 outfit.
Yeah, okay. So...
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll get into the thing I want to praise, like, later on.
I want you to... You should be praising things. Go ahead.
Well, like, now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I also need to just, like, quickly look up another name.
Alright, sure. Go ahead and look up some names. I mostly just have a lot of questions that I want to ask, and I feel like it's a good idea to get all of the good out of this scene.
Okay, so... Okay,
Yeah.
this scene
Go ahead.
of Pyrrha singing.
Yes.
Oh my god, is it beautiful!
It is.
Like, I said this on Twitter so many times, like, I can't sing its praises enough, huh?
Mm-hmm. Pun intended.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very good. Jim Brown did a phenomenal job.
Not only Jim Brown, but in the original Japanese, Megumi Toyoguchi. I hope I'm pronouncing
Close
that right.
enough.
If not, very, very sorry.
Close enough. She also sings it in English in the Japanese version, which is interesting.
Yeah, like, both
I guess because
performances-
rewriting the whole song as Japanese would be difficult.
Well, yeah, and also, like, I've heard people try and, like, rewrite Japanese songs into English, and
Yeah,
just
it can work. You can do it. It's just not as easy as it, a lot of other things.
Plus, I also just think it doesn't sound as good sometimes.
It depends on the song.
Yeah, true. But
Regardless, yes.
both of them, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's honestly one of the highlights of the episode. Like, just these performances are just, like, breathtaking. Yeah.
Yes. So can I just say one thing real quick?
Go for it.
Why is she glowing?
Huh. That's not where I thought you were going with that, and now that you say it, I'm just like...
I have a lot of places I want to go with this, but I wanted to start with that because I paused it and I noticed that she is glowing.
Could you imagine if in the middle of singing, oh my god, I'm glowing! Why am I glowing?
Why does that keep coming up?
Well, I mean, Persona 5 stuff keeps coming up.
I know. Anyway, so, we get the symbolism of the whole thing, which is interesting because I think this might be the only time in RWBY history where a character's image song is actually heard by the characters. Although I'm not 100% sure how much of it is, like, actually getting through to RWBY on a personal level. I'm not sure how close she's really paying attention to it. Nice hat, Ren. So I'm not entirely sure about that. But, she's hearing it, and maybe that will affect something?
I feel like, from what I remember, like, I want to say, yeah, it does.
Okay, well, then good. But here's the question. I have some questions. Why? Why this whole scene?
Yeah, okay, so... It is weird when you think about it, like... I still remember finding it weird that Pyrrha was just wearing, like, Weiss's Volume 4 dress.
And it still is weird.
But, I want to say that's just because of, like, Weiss's desire to, like, be on Pura's team, and she basically considers Pura, like, basically on the same level as her. Jesus Christ.
As her, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I understand the obvious symbolism of the fact that she respects Pura more than the greater majority of people because of her accolades and the like. You know, ironically, something she actually very much dislikes. But that's not really the point. I mean,
Weiss has no way of knowing that, so...
No, she doesn't, and I'm sure if she did, she would improve on that. But I'm just saying. So I get that. So I understand why she would be held to a higher standard than the rest of the people in these situations. But yet, despite that, she's still in the silly jail. When I was told that this was a thing that happened, and considering that she didn't show up at all the last time we saw the silly jail, I thought that to mean that, like, she would be, I don't know, at, like, a place singing in a fancy location.
Yeah,
and
okay.
stuff. Like, that's how I mentally pictured it, because, you know, maybe Weiss puts her on a bit of a pedestal in comparison to other people, and that was going to sort of be more symbolic. Whereas in this, she's also still in the silly jail. She just also has a really fancy dress and can sing beautifully.
Yeah,
and she sings Weiss's song, and I'm very confused why this is happening.
Thing is, like, because I've seen the rest of this, like, the sub of it, I know, like, something that will explain more of all of this.
Okay, so
and even something that's coming up later.
Okay, so it's not just this, that's it, we're done.
Yeah, no, like...
Okay,
something,
sure.
Something is brought up that puts more light on this.
Okay, sure, then awesome. I'm totally okay with that then. If there's more to it than that, but I mean, if this was like, you know, just Ruby shows up, there's Pyrrha. Yep, she's singing in Weiss's clothes, singing Weiss's song. Ruby just kind of stares at it for a while, then her phone goes off and goes, "Hey, I gotta take this, so you go ahead and do your thing, I'm gonna leave." Like, I don't know.
Can I just say, I love how when Pyrrha, like, wraps up the song, the curtains close. It's like, well...
Convenient-ass wind.
Or maybe even the Klein door is just like, you know what, I have a sense of showmanship.
I guess. And I appreciate Ruby's extraordinarily awkward. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go now. Wave. I don't know. This scene, while beautiful and well choreographed and all that, still came off as more than slightly strange to me.
And speaking of strange, I've only just thought about this now.
Yes. What'd you think of, yo?
So we cut back to another shadow person walking into the fountain. Is it just me, or does this one look like Ozpin?
Hang on. Dang it. I wish you told me that before the scene ended.
Like,
then I would have been able to tell.
First the one I thought looked like Willow, and now this.
Okay, you're not actually wrong. Maybe... No, that doesn't make any sense. I was thinking maybe that people that are in Weiss's life, but she doesn't feel like she has a strong enough, like, mental connection with in some regard, shows up as the full-on, like, shadows instead of having a corporeal form. But then, you know, that doesn't really much explain Cardin, so...
Yeah.
So that theory kind of falls apart pretty fast.
Actually, real quick on Cardin, from what I remember, I think that was his only other appearance.
I am aware, but I'm just saying. I was like, oh, well, maybe the people that Weiss is like really thinks about a whole bunch have bodies, but like lesser people in her mind don't get that. I don't know, but that obviously is not the case.
Yeah, the dream world is weird. Maybe this is just a way to like sneak in other characters. It's just like, huh?
Maybe,
like,
I don't know.
I mean, it's clever and I like it.
Once again, Ruby contemplates the coin. But Blake is all like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a goddamn ninja, so we don't need no goddamn decoy. I'ma just be sneaky.
I'm constantly looking at shadow people, just being like, okay, do they look like anyone?
Oh, shush. But yeah, anyway, so Ruby was gonna waste a coin, and Blake just said, hey, you know, my power is like literally perfect for decoys, so maybe I should just do that instead.
Yeah, and I kind of want to just like call this out, because I called it out in episode 1 as well.
Yes.
So, Blake pops down a shadow clone. It moves.
It does. Blake's shadow clones seem to be slightly better in this continuity than they are in the real one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like...
Yeah. Yes.
Because the issue is, like, whenever she's, like, in a fight, and then it's revealed, like, oh no, this was a shadow clone. I don't know if we see the initial point where she deploys it. Like,
Not...
because there's that moment when she's fighting Adam, and Adam goes to shoot her in the face, but it was a shadow clone.
Yeah.
When did she deploy that?
Ironically, I kind of always considered it to be sort of like a shadow or flash step type situation where she activates it on, like, because the way we always end up seeing it, it always sort of works on, like, the moment of impact. Like, whenever anybody strikes her, it's like at that exact moment she can trigger the shadow clone and sort of mildly teleport a small distance away, leaving a shadow of herself.
Oh, and you know what? There's also, like, in the C. Feilong fight, where she deploys one, and it froze her.
So, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm only just thinking about this now. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is kind of reminding me of how the more I think about Weiss's semblance, the more I don't fully understand how it works. I think you might be experiencing a lesser version of that with Blake's. It's like, I thought I understood how this thing works, but the more I think about it, the more things, like, don't perfectly line up.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna bring up Arrowfell because this was in the demo. You can deploy Blake Shadow Clones, but they can deal damage to people.
Which is something I don't think we... I mean, with the exception of that Sea Dragon fight, unless Blake usually puts dust in one of the clones, generally speaking, they aren't able to physically interact with things. That's always the impression I've been given. Like, it's a shadow. Shadows can't really touch stuff, you know? But it seems like as we go on, they just kind of decided they can sort of do more with it. And then in this, it's like they're taking the semblance very literally. It's like it's literally like a straight up small clone of herself. Very interesting. Anyway,
that tangent aside, the robot's just like, wait, where'd she go?
Where'd they go? And Whitley the Pokemon's all like, hey yo, y'all dummies. What's going on here? And it's like, hey, we lost track of them. And then it's like, oh, you digital dummies.
Oh.
Yeah.
What nice reference.
There you go. Yes, go ahead.
Though we kind of glossed over, just like, they end up in a jewelry shop.
They sure do.
And they're just like, wait, where's Blake? Right behind you.
It's like, hey, how's it going?
Even they didn't notice her.
Like, he got just girl.
Just that
she
stealthy.
do be mad. She do be mad sneaky though. She's not sneaky, but she's sneaky. And they immediately leave the jewelry shop, open up the door, bada bing, bada boom. They're even further in now than they ever were before. Ain't that just swell?
Yeah. So now is the time to use a coin.
Yes, now's the time to use a coin for a checkpoint. Very smart, very smart. And Yank says the line, now all we gotta do is get in there and wake Weiss up. Commercial break. And then me and Nightstar both simultaneously said, in episode 5 of 12? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean...
You make it sound so easy. I don't think it's gonna go that well.
No, it does not. Okay, no, now I see what you were getting at, like, earlier.
Anyway, Shadow Weiss is contemplating vines. Not Vine, but vines. She doesn't know Vine yet.
Nah.
Basically, same old for old Shadow Weiss. Just kinda getting her orders the way she do when she's thinking about these things. Whitley shows up and is like, hey, stuff's going down, yo. And then Weiss just decides to spring into action. And apparently, in this universe, her glyphs can summon, like, giant, like, megaphone alarm systems, which is neat.
Okay, I thought you were gonna finally talk about the thing, but...
What thing?
The thing that you didn't want me to talk about earlier.
Yeah, no, it's still not relevant.
Alright, I guess we want to talk about it in this episode.
No, we are. It just, once it's relevant in this episode. I think we might be thinking of two entirely separate things, my guy.
I might also just be like, this is the first time I'm going back through it since I initially watched it when it came out.
Right, no, there's a scene that very clearly does a thing with what I'm talking about. That's when I want to talk about it. Anyway, the intercom system says that Ruby and Yang have gotten themselves all out of their prison. You gotta stop that. And I just want to very casually, as an aside, say, when all of them are covering their ears, it's just always interesting to see how they how they make Blake and ear situations work.
Yeah, because, like...
She's covering her human ears.
Yeah, but there's a scene in Volume 8 when an alarm's going off and she covers her cat ears because they are much more sensitive.
It's like nobody actually really knows. It's like, just take your pick. I don't know. It's just it was just funny to me because like your kitty ears are still sticking up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and...
but because they brought up the fact that Ruby and Yang escaped, they're like, hey.
Yeah, that means like, they've replaced their counterparts. So.
Yeah, I get that, but
there was no mention of Blake.
Yes. And here's the thing, Blake says a thing that don't make no sense to me, unless I guess the girls don't understand how this works with the taking over of the body thing.
Yeah,
because she seems to interpret this as there is no dream version of Blake. That's obviously not true.
Yeah, obviously, and there will be an explanation, like, in another episode.
Alrighty.
Like,
if you say so, but yeah, Blake's conclusion is but Blake comes to the conclusion, it's just Weiss just doesn't have a dream version of me. They're like, well, that isn't no, she very much obviously did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having the physical appearance that you be having right now, Blake. I mean, come on. But the girls concoct a sneaky plan. It involves.
It's actually a really good plan when you think about it.
It is like, well, we want to get further in. The tower is further in. They want us to be in the tower. Why don't we just let them catch us?
Yeah.
Except for
I love this, like, we surrender face.
Yeah, no, these gals be adorable is what they be. My goodness.
As Blake just, like, watches this go down.
Yeah, and Weiss is all like, huh. Alright. That was disappointingly easy.
Just like, well, okay.
Alright, I guess I'll sit down again.
And then the girl in black is brought up again.
Yep, that happens a lot. And then we see another Klein door.
Yeah, this one is Sleepy Klein.
Yeah, not the best door to have be a guard.
Well, would you rather see Sleepy Klein be, like, the robot in charge of, like, all of these?
No, but I'm just saying it's an interesting one. I don't know. It's... Regardless.
Well, so just a detail, like, as a possible nitpick.
Yeah.
So, they show a hand, like, knock on the door. That was Yang's.
Yes.
So, did Grumpy Klein just let her knock the door? For some reason?
I don't know. I'd like to just say a quick thing because it's well, two things when they go in and into this basically this prison for Ruby and Yang specifically.
I also just want to say I find it funny that we finally get a scene of Klein talking to Klein.
Yeah, I know, right? It's taken so long. My goodness. But they go into this prison basically, and they look around, and it's like, oh, it's all of Weiss's favorite things. Okay, two things. One, actually, I'll start with the slightly negative thing, leading into the positive thing. One, the fact like, oh, it's all of Weiss's favorite things, even our bunk beds, and Yang's all like, oh, huh. All right, so I guess I was completely wrong about saying that she was lying about that. Huh. Like, yeah, you were, Yang. You were. Anyway.
Yeah, like, so, getting that out of the way.
Getting that out of the way, I can instead focus on the fact that the room full of Weiss's favorite things, if all things are going the way that they're supposed to, includes Ruby and Yang.
Well, I mean, all 4 bunk beds are there.
I know, but what I'm just trying to say that means, even at this point, certain things that Weiss treasures above all else are literally her teammates.
Yeah, I'm gonna... it's really hard because I want to talk about this, but I know I shouldn't.
Okay, well, are you going to try and tell me that there's evidence against that?
Like, later on, I'll call back to this. I'll say that.
Can you say if it's in a negative or positive way?
Somewhat both.
Well, now you took a happy and you made it sad.
You know what, should I just explain it off camera?
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah, like...
Anyway,
sorry for people watching
no.
this, it's just... It's hard to talk about the episode when I know of stuff, but Max doesn't.
It's true, it's true. Anyway, another thing, and now I can finally bring this thing up. I guess first things first, RWBY decides to take a sneaky peeky up on what would be her bunk, and there's one of those twisty signs, which I think is symbolic for the fact that Weiss doesn't really fully understand RWBY. I think that is part of it. And also, there's a chess piece! And this is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So... is that the right chess piece?
The knight, yeah.
So... RWBY and Weiss also took the knight?
Well... yeah, that's like the relic that made them Team RWBY. They took the knight pieces.
I admit, I never actually fully understood how that worked.
I always just interpreted it as just like, they took the same chess piece, so... yeah. This is the team.
I just thought, I don't know, like, if you took these... like... I don't know, I get that I'm not bright, but I don't know. I guess I just never really... did we ever physically see them? What piece they got? I don't know.
Yes.
I just didn't... we did?
Yeah, we saw them pick up the white knight piece.
Weird.
And they even have it in their room. Wait, it's in the opening as well.
But I thought that was Blake and Yang's.
No, they just took one.
I thought they took two.
No. Yang picked up one, and her and Blake were like, alright, this is the piece we're taking. Then Weiss and Blake showed up. Weiss was all, look, just pick one. So RWBY was all,
okay, no.
I'll take this one.
You're right. But there are 4 to a chessboard. But I'm thinking too hard about this. Look, long story short is I'm an idiot. Anyway, RWBY takes it, and she puts it in that convenient pocket that she's had this whole time, which I can only assume is the entire reason they gave it to her in this design in the first place.
Yeah, but she also calls...
Shion is napping!
I like how Shion's napping.
She made a hammock out of string.
They.
Damn it!
Sorry.
They! No, it's okay. I need to learn.
I guess it's also just a good thing I'm here.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to get it wrong. I'm really not. And I was even going to point out the fact that Yang was really good about it and didn't get it wrong herself. Because when they make the call and then they get the information and Yang says, what did they say? And I'm like, dang, it's like, oh, look at that. Yang got it good. Yang's good. And I was like, and I still got it wrong. God damn it. Anyway, Blake is sneaky.
Actually, I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
Shion explains, like, oh, this is like a manifestation of something close to Weiss's heart. It will be the key to entering her mind.
Yeah, thank you for rephrasing that.
Yeah, so that's what the relics are.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so back to the goals. Yeah, the whole, like, yeah, it's important. So
yeah,
we need this to get to Weiss and wake her up.
Now, what you need to do is talk about the impossible thing Blake just did.
Alright, so RWBY pulls out a coin, and Yang's like, wait, what are you doing? And it's just like, bringing Blake here. Like, that's what we gotta do. We gotta, like, put a door down. Oh, but will that work? Because this is supposed to be a jail. Blake's all, hey, I'm here.
This is just already inside. Hey, how's it going?
Now, okay. Okay.
In order for her to, I'm not gonna say it, but in order for her to have done what she just did, shouldn't be possible. Explain how.
Okay, so Ruby and Yang were basically taken to the Schnee Manor, I guess, in the center of the this kingdom. Like, escorted by who knows how many robots, Grumpy Klein, and taken into a sentient door. Blake snuck in there, like, getting past, like, all the guards, like, that were in the way of her and, like, the actual manor itself. All the guards that were inside, and picked the lock of a sentient door without being noticed. How is this possible?
That really, yeah, no, none of that should be a thing. Because also, I can't help but notice that,
I like how when they asked, like, how'd she get in, she's just like, well, there was a pretty basic lock.
Yeah, but where?
Oh my god, yeah, I'm looking at the door, like, yeah, where was the lock?
Where on the door is the lock? Did she have to put her hand in the mouth, the nose?
No. Like, it was, oh, actually, yeah. Because, yeah, we saw her pick it with Gamble's Shroud.
Yeah, she picked it with Gamble's Shroud. Where did she put it? Did she pick the door's nose? How did Blake know she could do that?
You know what? I'm just thinking to myself, damn. Like, this is just Metal Gear Blake.
Kinda. Like, that doesn't make any damn sense to me. I
require fan art of Blake dressed as Solid Snake.
Fair enough.
Like,
so
someone give me that.
Yes. So the girls decide that one of them needs to stay behind in order to throw the tracks off and everything. So
I love how they decide.
Ruby and Yang decide things that only the most serious-minded of people and Dragon Ball characters do in order to make decisions. Rock, paper, scissors. Ruby wins, so Yang has to stay behind, giving us the elusive unicorn that is Ruby and Blake interactions.
I'm always happy to see these.
Yeah, because they're not common.
Yeah. But
yeah, so Yang has to stay behind.
Yeah. They do leave another door behind. Oh, okay, you know what? We see, like, a handle. Like, maybe that's... And there's a thing above it. Maybe that's where the lock is?
Maybe. I don't know. Look, I just want to keep pretending that she had to shove Gamble Shroud up that thing's nose and somehow didn't wake it up.
That's ungodly impressive.
Indeed. Oh, no. Okay, I'm looking at that door. I don't see a lock anywhere on that handle.
I mean, there was a thing above it.
I don't see that there either. No, that's not there. Shush.
No, I mean,
Photoshop that out. It's not there anymore. No. She picked the door's nose.
You know, you know what? We're looking into this too much, but that's what we do.
Yes, and also, I like Yang's... I really like this scene, because it's also somewhat comedic, of the door waking up and going, hey, are you two still in there? And Yang's all like, yep. Go back to sleep. Alright, good enough for me. Sleepy Klein does not take his job nearly seriously enough.
Well, yeah, he's sleepy.
I know. But yeah, look at that, Ruby and Blake adventures.
Yeah, they're just in Schnee Manor.
Yeah, Ladybug Shipper's eating good tonight. They'll take what they can get.
I mean, they've been starving for years.
They've been starving for 8 years.
Oh my god. Like, you know that meme of, like, just that image of, like, someone just, like, being fed through a tube and it's like they're, like, a glutton, but there's, like, drips that's feeding someone else?
I have a better one.
That's Bumblebee and Ladybug.
Actually, I have a better one. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I'm going to make it, and I'm going to give it to you, and maybe you can even show it in the video.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Anyway, I was slightly mistaken. Now Ruby stashes away the little horsey piece. Although it is red now, but I'm
it was always red.
Symbolic. It was always red?
Yes!
Why wouldn't it have been white and black like actual chess pieces, then?
Well, because this is for, like...
No, hang on. No, hang on. This time I'm not stupid. Okay, no, hang on. In this universe, yes, it is red. But then in the real world is white.
No, okay. I thought you meant this one now being red. Like,
no.
The specific one Ruby is holding at this moment.
Yeah, no. That one's always been red. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yes. Okay, we're on the same level.
Like,
Stop bomb. Yes.
Real world, they're both white chess pieces. Like, in this world, okay,
they're red.
Spoiler / not spoiler, because it's not a spoiler if it's obvious. There are 4.
Oh.
There's a red, which we have here. There's a white, which we saw briefly. There's a black, and there is a yellow.
Oh, well, that's neat. Okay. Does this make them the 4 horsewomen?
Why did my mind go to of the apocalypse?
That's an apocalypse that I welcome.
You know what, fair?
These are acceptable parameters. I welcome my demise.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, if that were the apocalypse and it's just like Team RWBY on horseback, I'm just gonna be there like, you know what? I accept this.
Worst ways to go.
Like, just arms up, like, just take me.
Pretty much, like, accepting. Anywho, our weirdness aside, Ruby and Blake are in the room of chairs.
And, yeah, really, that's just what it is.
It's a room full of shiny floors, vines, and chairs.
Yeah.
And bada boom, Shadow Ice. She's standing all fancy.
Mm-hmm. And, she says a little something.
Yeah, I don't like what she says. So I'm just focusing on the cool glasses instead.
Fair enough.
And she basically says in her world there are no faunus. Anyway, moving on. Aw, dang, the credits are playing. Ain't that a bummer? Now we gotta wait for the next episode.
Yeah, which, okay, it's Wednesday when we're recording this, so...
Which means I have to wait, like, 6 months. Ugh. This is butts is what this is. I do like the end credits though. Don't you see saying words over there, Mr. Man, with your thoughts? Anyway, I imagine Ruby and Blake are probably going to end up fighting Shadow Weiss over here in the next part. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Sure seems to be what they're setting up at least.
I know what's going to happen.
I know you know, but I don't know what you know and I don't know, so shut up.
I have music planned for it.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Also, this episode's artist pictures of Nora, which I thought was exceedingly random, but still cute.
Hey, I'm always down for Art of Team Juniper.
No, I totally am too. It's not like she really had much of anything to do with that episode.
Yeah. Also, his artwork is just really pretty.
It is. And because I guess this is a thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to type in Mata Yoshi. All I'm seeing is this particular artist's Twitter and Instagram.
Ah.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they work in the industry or anything, but this is definitely the same artist. If you really like this picture of Nora, they got more if you want it. I guess that's what I'm gonna be saying.
Okay, yeah. Artist reference. Japanese creative books. Amazon.
Yeah. I assume they might be some kind of character designer, maybe? It's kind of hard to tell because they don't speak English, obviously. I don't really have a lot of context, but very nice art.
Oh, yeah. Like,
and I just wanted to give credit where credit is due, because I have no idea how many people are actually going to Google who made these pictures at the end of the episode, so I figure I might as well.
Yeah, and we're gonna, like, at least talk a little bit about them at the end of these.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Is this? Wait, is this the same? Damn it, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. They don't know what they're doing.
I was hoping for a bit more info, but I can't find it.
Yeah, I can't either, so that's kind of all I've really got. That's all I can really give. They have a Twitter and an Instagram. Go there if you want to see more of their stuff. I have literally no information in it other than that. Either way, like we said before, this is very clearly a building block episode that's just kind of establishing things for later.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing by any stretch.
No, it's not. Because, okay, like, say you want to just take out building block episodes. Like, no. Let's just get right to it. So if, say, we did that, episode 4 would end with, okay, so Ruby's fighting Shadow Ice. Shadow Ice is about to win. And the next episode we cut to Ruby and Blake facing off against Shadow Ice in a completely different area.
So you need this mess. You need this mess.
Plus, this episode was just meant to, okay, we gotta get Ruby back into the dream, but Yang and Blake alongside her.
Well, there you go, essentially. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
I can't call the episode, like, phenomenal or anything, because, yeah, not a whole lot happened, but important stuff still got set up. Yeah. That's what matters.
And like you said, MVP of the episode, like, it's Blake.
It really is.
Like,
Gal just did everything right today.
Yeah, being super chill and being like, nope, this is what we gotta do. Like, it might be weird, but I'm going into it understanding that. Like, gotta do what we gotta do.
And then when she was in there, she did things and she got the job done.
Yeah, putting Donut to shame in terms of throwing arm.
And picking a door that I'm not sure how she managed to do.
And being so stealthy, I would probably make Snake proud.
Oh, there you go. And also, while we were talking, I finished the meme.
Oh boy, I want to see this.
And here's hoping that it's actually funny to you. All right, here we go. I send it. Come on. Go a little faster. Dramatic tension. There we go. Oh, it's okay. Well, it's sent twice. It doesn't matter. There it is.
I'm waiting for it to load.
That's okay. When it comes to ship representation, it's basically this.
I'm just gonna refresh Twitter.
Alright, go for it.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. There you go! You can't say I'm wrong!
That's so accurate, though!
Glad it was worth it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, make sure to show people that one. Alright then. And with that triumphant note...
So those who ship the other two, I'm sorry, but you can't exactly say this is wrong.
You can't. They have preferential treatment. They just do. And that literally only one of these three is actually happening.
Yeah.
And they're not subtle about it.
They're really not.
Anyway.
Like we mentioned earlier in this episode, they basically wrote, Blake and Yang just, like a couple.
Essentially.
Or maybe it's just the way I interpreted, Aaron's deliveries of the hush.
Maybe? I don't know. Either way, it sure felt that way. It came off that way to me, as that way to me, at least. So, there you go.
I'm all for it.
Then.
Just, given where it is on the timeline, it's a little weird, but...
but at the same time,
Yeah.
You're gonna complain.
Nah.
Alright then.
I like it. Give me more.
Yee. And alright then, with that silly little note right there, hope you guys enjoyed our stupid rambling, as we always are known to do. In the next part, well, I assume there's probably going to be some fighting. He knows.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Okay, he's just biting his tongue. Alright, he clearly needs to tell me stuff, and you guys don't need to hear. We'll see you later!
Bye. Okay, here's what's happening.